Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, members of the press, Oddcollard here with just a disclaimer. My content is primarily for guys, folks on the nerdy side, and some tomboys. Nothing personal with anyone. It's just the way it is with me. Just another day. Someone threw up the bat signal. You know, could be a flare, fireworks, or depending on the weather and the tools available, even search or floodlights bouncing a logo off some sort of low clouds or fog or something. Yep, like the old Batman stories. Sounds like this guy was the man back in the day. My uncle swears it was just a made-up story. Regardless, searchlights and flares work fine for us. Plus, this only happens when radio communications go wonky, during weird weather. Today, and probably for the next few days, I'm assigned to work for the guys, where I feel most comfortable. Although some of these cats were nuts, there wasn't a single one that didn't have something to teach me and took time to do so in their own way. The last confirmed, armed conflict we had was with a family from across the mountain range. I was really small then. This was back when some of the guys didn't have gray hair. Others smiled far more back then compared to today. War and armed conflict have a way of making a person grow up fast. Lieutenant Redford and Mag 7 haven't yet returned. The authorities won't yet give the go to send a search party. Some of the guys are whispering. They think the authorities know far more than they're telling us. It's likely Mag 7 may have been redirected to another assignment. But on foot? In this weather? And after they've been out for so long? It's been months. I mean, they're with us. Part of the guys. Something isn't right here. Wise men once say, your mind is like a parachute. It works better when it's open. The farming industry was beginning to run into problems again. Crops aren't making it to harvest. This happens now and then, but not to this level. It's not water, as our wells are plentiful and safe to drink. There's an abundance of seeds. Is the issue in the soil, in the rain? We're okay for now, but this could potentially become a major item concern in the future. In addition, hyenas have been seen wandering among the crops and farmland in the early mornings. This is unusual. They're getting bolder, testing our boundaries again. It's been years since the last time the pack were our opponents. I heard years back they used to snatch children and the weak or elderly in broad daylight. Getting cornered by one is bad enough. These things get pretty big, but a pack? Add to that their teamwork. There's a story from generations past. The guys had to push back the hyenas. It was a stiff war that lasted several months. We learned so much about them. How they think on the fly, with really good strategy. And apparently, they carry the recessive gene as well. The judge told a story of once when he was a small child, his father, while saving a mother and daughter from a large male, the animal turned on him because it felt it was threatened. And it was. His father shot it directly in the forehead from, they say, about 8 feet away with a .38 caliber pistol. The judge was a little boy then. The authorities are guessing that he, the judge, is around 180 to 250 years old now. Only thing is, the large male is still around too. I've seen it, and he's ginormous, bigger than the others. He has a small patch on his forehead between his eyes where no fur grows. Wise man once say, a friend in need is a pest. Another sign went up in the early morning. This time there were fireworks well in the distance, far east of our position. Radio contact, even within our zone, was sketchy at best. Some folks are suggesting the colors of each blast say it's Mag 7. Everyone, with the exception of the guys, were on edge, and Queen Mother. She looked concerned, but not yet on edge. Did she know something, or was it just her faith in Redford's abilities that held her calm? She all but adopted him after his parents passed. They're just like mother and son now, and you can tell they really saw each other as family, yet are so polar opposites as individuals, it all just leaves you wondering how. It was night when a full message came through, broken and short. It read, "This is Mag 7. Final mission accomplished. We ran into Sherry. We're headed back to base straight away." Sherry, I said. They found Sister Sherry? Was she all right? All I could think about was my play sister, whom I hadn't seen in a very long time. The clan went nuts all around. The news was a positive spirit lifter. We really needed this. All of us. A few hours later, some of the authorities, as well as some of the guys, were sitting around listening for any news. I chose to hang all night with them. Corinne and Jacob were with me. Eventually, because there were so many of the older folks around, Jacob leaned in and whispered in my ear. In his message, he said, "Final mission accomplished." What mission? My eyes got big and my heart dropped. By the time Mag 7 arrived back home, the sun was just coming up. Immediately, the guys made their greetings and began putting gear in its place, either to be shelved or prepped for cleaning. I was the first to get to Redford, shook his hand and thanked him for his efforts, then went directly to ask about Sherry. "Where is she?" I asked. "Oh, Sherry's around here somewhere," he said. "But that ain't the same Sherry you remember, kid. She's definitely changed on many levels." "Is she injured or disfigured or something?" I asked. Lieutenant Redford responded without looking at me and said, "Disfigured? I wouldn't put it in those words," and kept walking. While pushing through the crowd, a young man I had never seen before came back with the team. The authorities were almost interrogating him. It sounded pretty rough. The alderman was completely frustrated and burnt out. He yelled at the young man, "What did you see?" The young man said, "I saw 2 hyenas the size of an H2 Hummer. He called them Bobby and Whitney. They did what he said." The alderman was just taken aback. What? As I continued to push through the crowd, I made my way to the vehicles and hardware that brought the group home. Where was she? Last I remember, she was on one of her many tanks she had owned over the years, smoking as usual, and either reading something or eating something. She had been picked for the old Armor Corps very early. Something about aptitude. Or was it attitude? As it happened, we both rounded the rear corner of a transport vehicle at the same time, literally running into each other. At that moment, all I could think of was, damn, Sherry grew up.